don't know exactly, how much, I understand that you learned the Chaznachas and I'm very jealous of you. I'm going to jump in right to what we do. And if it's too familiar for you, please let me know. I'll try to move on to the next step. The way the Hilchos Yerusha works is very, I just want to make one disclaimer before I start. I am the director of the Business Halacha Institute. I'm not a Rav in the Business Halacha Institute. I can only tell you what I know from my experience and as much as know my knowledge from what I learned, but I'm not a Rav. I wouldn't recommend taking whatever I say as a psak, halacha l'maaseh, like completely, before discussing it with a Rav that does these things. The same way I do not do anything halacha l'maaseh before I get it clear with one of our Rabbanim. We have a lot of Rabbanim that are very competent in this, and they are busy. One of our Rabbanim is actually busy with Tzava all day. Let's jump it right in. The way the Torah divided the estate, the family works, it goes by son, by male inheritance. By male heirs, it goes to the sons. If not, then the father, then the brothers. And, it goes all over until Yaakov Avinu, and down. The daughters do not get anything. Are there any women at the meeting? I don't think so, right?
And kann man nicht wissen.
Kann nicht wissen, yeah. The daughters and the wife is the same thing. We'll discuss it soon. Do not really get anything.
Unless there's no sons.
Unless there's no sons, and they get their mezonos and they get their other things, but not more than that. Let's be very clear. We're up to a problem. Today's days, there's a big problem because in a lot of the families, especially in the more open to the world families, they really do not understand it at all. Why shouldn't the daughters get something? In some families, I would, quote yeshivish, let's call it Lakewood families. Yeah, the man sits in koil, he's learning all day. The Vabat gearbeitet das ganze Leben, and she bought, everything is really hers. She does not understand. She doesn't begin to understand what do you want from her life. The whole life, she did everything, and she made all the decisions. After the husband was nifta, she does not get anything. Everything goes to the sons all of a sudden. It's very interesting, and that's a shah that hopefully we'll get to that later. So we're going back to a Tekuna from the Ramu. The Ramu brings it, from before, and really there's a Mukam in the Gemara about this, about giving Naden for the daughter. The Gemara calls it Isra Nechusam, Panusa, and they used to give a tenth of the estate to the daughter. The way they used to do it, they used to write it by the wedding of the time when the daughter got married. However, even if you give it at the time when the daughter got married, there's also a problem. The Gemara says it's called Ma'ave Nachle. You're going against the Torah because the Torah says you should not take away of the sons, and you're taking away of the sons. It's an interesting thing why you call it taking away of the sons when I'm taking it by them when they're married. You wouldn't say that when I go out to the grocery to buy a cookie. I wouldn't say it's called being Ma'ave Nachle. I'm taking away of the money that should be coming to my sons. So why, when I'm giving it to my daughter, you would call it Ma'ave Nachle more than other cases? There's some ways to explain that, but whatever it is, the Gemara calls it Ma'ave Nachle. Now, the way we would want to do it is do the same thing to write a tzavor when that should go in effect only after 120. That's for sure would be a problem of Ma'ave Nachle. That's the problem number one. So let's put Ma'ave Nachle, that's one problem. The next problem, what we have is, how do we do it? There's no way really to do it because after the 120, nothing belongs to you. While you're alive, everything belongs to you. If you're not giving it right now, you're only giving it later. So this cannot work. How do you want to do it? So jumping right into the Ramu. The Ramu brings you the idea of, it's called Shtach HaTzizucha. Until today, it's called Shtach HaTzizucha, even though I don't really remember finding even one person doing Shtach HaTzizucha. Most of the people that would do Shtach Shulam Zucha or something like that. But it's, the name is kept. It's called Shtach HaTzizucha. And the way it will work is it works with the Choiv. It works. Let's call it with a back end insurance policy. I would call it. It works with the father gives you directions. The Olam I believe is familiar, with the basics of Shtachat Yizucha, right? If you learn the Remove, Shtachat Yizucha means that you give the father would write all his directions how he would want the estate to be divided and distributed, and then he needs to add. But this is really nothing because you cannot give any. Your instructions is nothing. It wouldn't even pass the halacha of mitzvah machmas misa or mitzvah lekayim devar hames, because mitzvah lekayim devar hames is only if you give is hishlish lekach. If I would take the money and I would give it to my friend and I would tell him, take this money and make sure to divide it between these 4 children, that would be called mitzvah lekayim devar hames, because I took the money out of my hands. As long as the money is in my hands, there's not even mitzvah lekayim devar hames. Also, we'll talk later about Rav Moshe Feinstein, what the way he uses his perspective, but mitzvah lekayim devar hames also does not comply. So the idea that we're working is we're adding a clause of insurance that means that you're taking upon yourself a choiv of, let's say, $10 million. That if one of the children will contest the way I asked them to distribute the instructions, then the chayv will kick in, and they will be obligated. I'm obligating myself before the death, a minute before the death, to give to my daughters. Usually we write in the daughters because the sons are secured anyways. So we would obligate ourselves to give for the daughters, the X amount of money that I feel my estate will probably be at the day of that I reach 120, and this number should be a choiv to give to them if anyone contests. There are a lot of clauses added.
You have to make a kinyan.
What?
You have to make a kinyan.
Okay, now a kinyan, we'll see it when we open it. The kinyan, there's 2 ways. Really, you make a kinyan. Yes, before you sign, you make a kinyan. However,
Kinyan or daisa.
So we do usually kinyan or daisa. We write into the document that I made a kinyan in front of a bezna chushev, and that's kinyan or daisa that will make the whole eschayvus kick in. You don't really have to make the kinyan. It's recommended to do the kinyan. But I see that people get so confused with the kinyan. I pick up we're all Hasidim, so we have gatlech. I did these events in a few other places without gatlech. It got
How do you
to make
the dover shaloi b'shusay? How can you write a choiv? After he dies, it's a dover shaloi b'shusay. How can you?
Right. So he obligates himself 1 minute before his demise. He obligates himself. The choiv should kick in 1 minute before, with the Tanai that if no one contests and everyone follows the directions, then there's no obligation to pay the choiv. But really, the choiv kicks in right away, a minute before the namaz. So this is one way to do it. I'll go to the other one, then we'll get back to this. The other way to do it is making. It's called a matuna mechaim. You're writing now a will, and you're making now a kinyan that you're giving away everything that you have before demise, exactly how you want to divide it, and this is the way they should get it right now. I'll tell you the truth, I'm not familiar with that way because I never did it. I always do the other way. I understood that there are a few problems with Matun Machaim. Number 1 is something that's Eine B'Shisa. That's why I was saying, because you started with that. If it's Eine B'Shisa, then Matun Machaim will not really work. So you have to make the Matun Mechaim should start then. Achoiv can kick in later, and Matun Mechaim I don't think will kick in later, and I don't know exactly. So I will go past that. This is all the way the Tzavur will work. Now, there's a Rav Moshe Feinstein. I'm not sure if you all learned about that. Rav Moshe Feinstein says that a legal will, making a legal will. Are there any lawyers over here? Rabbi William? Okay, so you go there, you have to tell me before I have to
There's,
know
there's a doctor here also.
what.
There's a doctor here
A
also.
doctor here in case of any emergency. We have a doctor on scene. Okay. Um. Okay. So the lawyer so the lawyers do the legal will. You want to make a will, you go to a lawyer, you sit down, and he makes you a secular will. And if I understand correctly, Mr. Lawyer, I don't see you, but if I understand correctly, I understand sure that in legal law there are a lot of parts and a lot of loopholes that the lawyer is here to make sure that these loopholes don't happen. But I think the general idea of a legal will, what makes it legally binding, is if it says on top, last legal wish, last legal wish, something like that,
Last
and it
will and testimony.
Last legal testimony. That's what I wanted to say, right? And it has to have two witnesses. However, the witnesses are allowed to be ladies too. They're just not allowed to be relatives. And this is the basic that what makes something legal. I think that's all. I believe there are probably much more things, otherwise you wouldn't have to go to a lawyer to make your will. But that's the alibis of making a legal will. Halachic will is much more difficult because after you're in Shemayim, nothing belongs to you. You have no rights to give anything away. So the way to do it is with the whole Torah, you have to make an eschayvis. You have to write the direction, and then the eschayvis, if they don't follow the direction, there should be an eschayvis. And the eschayvis has a whole way how to do it because really it's an Smicha, And then what's going to be if one son will contest and the other son will not contest? There are a lot of things. We'll open it up and we'll read it together. I believe as we will read, we will probably come up with more things that we would want to discuss. Al Capone, Rav Moshe is saying a new idea. Rav Moshe said that making a legal will might sometimes work because a legal will is mitzvah l'kayim devrei hames. It's a mitzvah l'kayim devrei. He's giving you instructions. Although I said before, the mitzvah l'kayim devrei does not apply only if it's hishlish l'kach, only if you gave it over for someone. And Moshe says that writing a legal will is as if it's hishlish l'kach, because the legal will is legally binding, and you're bound to take care of this. You're bound to work with the according to the legal terms. You have no way to go around it because it could always be enforced in courts. So that's therefore it is as if it's hishlish l'kach. And being that it's hishlish l'kach, there's a mitzvah l'kayim devrei hames, and you have to go according to the legal will. So really, if you go to a lawyer and make a legal will, you don't really need a halachic will. However, I only say this if someone called me after the 120. I'm sorry. I mean to say the kids. Yesterday someone called me up. Explain to me why I need to do a halachic will if I have a secular will already. So I explained to him. You have to understand. You're right that the legal will has some toikif, and legally, everything is divided already exactly. It belongs to your daughters, and even if Rav Moshe said it's a mitzvah, the kaim devrei has to do so. However, what will you do if one of your kids will go to Bezdin and he's going to be a fremen? He's going to say, no, the Torah says it belongs to the son. I'm not asking to give it away. What are you going to do? He can contest it. What will the Bezdin do? I don't know what the Bezdin will say. It's a problem. So you know what he told me? Oh, so you mean to say that his father passed away without a halachic will, only a legal will, also I can contest it? Which bezin can I go to? I told him, no. I don't think a bezin will really honor this taina. However, it is important to make a halachic will to make sure that you don't have a problem. But there might be such a concern. It is a concern if someone will go to Bezdin and say that I don't honor legalities, and mitzvah l'kayim devrei hames is only mitzvah l'kayim devrei hames to whatever it is. Bind. It's not as binding as it is. So I want to contest it. The same problem will be if someone will go to a lawyer and make a trust. He goes to the lawyer and makes the trust. He puts all the money into trust. He puts into directions how he wants it to be distributed, and that's even a bigger problem. Let me explain to you why. Because I don't know exactly what audience we're talking to, Hasidim, whatever. We're all Hasidim, but at the end of the day, there are all type of people. A lot of people look on the legal terminology as if it's like It's only here to make us problems. So in order to be eligible for Medicaid and to not have to pay so many taxes, and let's not forget about the problem of probate. So I don't know if you're all from New York. In New York, there's something called probate court. So I'm going back to what I said before. After the 120, the Torah gives it automatically to the sons. The goy does not understand that. After 120, it does not go over to the heirs until the judge does it. You have to go for probate, and probate is such a gehenna in some places. I know in New Jersey, probate takes 15 minutes, but in New York, the probate court is such a hassle. And the problem starts, we were involved in like big notorious with big businesses, and the fight arises, and now the brothers that are not in talking terms have to sit together and go to the probate court to make sure that the transfer gets done. Probate is a big schlep. I believe you're probably hearing me only halfway.
No, we got you. We got you.
Is the other hearing me clear?
Yes, crystal clear.
Yes,
Crystal
yes,
clear.
I hear everything.
We hear everything.
Okay. Al Caponeum. Probate is a problem. One of the things, what they do to avoid the problem of probate and to be eligible for taxes, not have to pay so many taxes, and be eligible for Medicaid when you become older and everything you need. You take all the money, you put it into a trust. So let me tell you, I don't know from where you are. In the circle that I live, a lot of people do that. They just take all the money, they put it into a trust. Who is the trustee? They put the trustee, so they're the grantor. There's let's not go get into a trust right now, but every trust has a grantor, beneficiaries, and a trustee. So the beneficiaries are usually the ones that they are benefiting from the trust. The grantor is the one that put the money in. I don't want to get mixed up. And the trustee is the one that's in charge. Who's going to be the trustee? The daughter that's sitting at home right then when they call the lawyer, she's becoming a trustee. Does he really want that daughter should get everything? No. So really in the secular world, or I would call it in the world that looks on legal terms as it's a fact. They will never put their things in a trust only if they know exactly who they want to give it to and why they're giving it. They would always put all their children equally. They will make sure it makes sense with all their estate, the way they want to distribute it after the 120. However, a lot of people only do it for legal purposes, not to have to pay taxes. So the problem is going to be, the Gemara says it's called a panchi ba'alma. I never gave it to you. Not a panchi ba'alma, it's a better term. The Gemara says, Lavriche nechse. The Gemara in Baba Basra has Sabbatim. Someone he wrote all his nechusim on someone's name, only Lavriche nechse, so no one should know that he has this money, but really he never gave it away. So the same thing I would say would probably maybe be by a trust if he can prove to the Bezdin that he only gave it away because he wanted to be eligible for Medicaid. He never gave it really away. So if he didn't give it away, it still belongs to him. So now what do you do after the 120? His daughter is on the trust. His daughter wants to get the money, or at least half of the money, the way the trust is distributed. And the son will go to Bezdin and say, this trust was never really done for this purpose. It was only done for Medicaid. It was only done for Medicaid. And he's even going to, one of the things Bezdin will look at, Bezdin will say, okay, let's see. Do you have $1 million in cash, under the mattress? If you have cash under the mattress, why didn't you put that in the trust? Elamai, the trust is only, for your real estate that you had no choice. You had to put it on a trust in order to be eligible for programs. But really, all the other things you didn't write into the trust, and neither you made a legal will. So that there's a possibility that he will win in Bezdin. So I'm not saying anyone would win in Bezdin. I would not recommend anyone trying to fight this in Bezdin, because I don't think the Bezdin will really pass on such a shayla if it comes. But it's important that when you make your trust, you have to do also a halachic will. So we were in this conversation now. We'll call it. There's a halachic will, and then there's a secular will validation. That's another document. If you do a legal will, you would do a secular will validation to validate the legal will. Let me just give a look at the watch so we know how we divide it. Okay, I am jumping right in because it's so late. I'm jumping right in to what we did. The business halachas, we came up with a very interesting project. A few reasons why we started it, but I'll say it very simple. The reason why we started it is because we're a Bezdin and we're very busy with a lot of meetings and consultations. People come all over. We do documents, het iskes, and all these things. And most of the people are businesses, and business people are ready to pay, and that gets our income. That's our budget. Like we have $1 million budget. We have a lot of rabbonim and a whole organization running. The way we cover our budget is we have people that businesses that come over for us for consultations, halacha consultations, document drafting, het iskes, and etc. etc. Shabbos problems with businesses. He has a business. For some reason, some operations have to be open on Shabbos. How do you make it work? So these are what we do. Estate planning is also, the problem is that most people that do estate planning are seniors, and seniors are not here really to, they call and they call and they call, and we keep on being seen. We saw ourselves being busy with estate planning so much. You really want to make your phone calls. You won't find too many halachic organizations that are ready to do this because it's a lot of work, and it doesn't help us cover our budget. Easily skiing. So what we did is we came up with an interesting app that you will be able to make your tzava automatically by filling out a few questions. It is very interesting. There are a lot of functions behind the scenes that happen while you choose whatever you choose, and that will help you create your tzava legal halachic will within minutes. Let me see if I can bring it up. No, not CC. Window sharing. Okay, so I'm going into my website. Let's see if this shares. This. 1 minute. What do you see on my screen?
So we see a big B.
A big B. The big B is good, but that's not what I want to bring up. Try scrolling and zooming. That's not what I'm looking for. Sorry. I have it on. I just don't see how to get you on it. Let me.
Either you have to share the whole screen or the particular window.
Stop presenting. Let me try again. I'm trying again. Share. Oh boy, presenting audio. I don't know why it's not coming up. Okay. Is there anyone over here that's tech savvy that will want to share his screen? I'll give him the website address so we can get everyone.
Okay. I can try to do it.
Yeah. Okay. So share the screen, and I'll give you the address.
1 second. Where's the share?
Go to Chrome. Share is the box in the bottom.
Present now. Okay. And what should I share? So I have to take one of my
go to Chrome.
Okay. 1 second. Let me get one of these. I'm going to share my entire screen. What'll happen? No, I'll do one. So I'll do one tab here. Okay. Now where is it? Okay, so I'm going to go to a different.
Chrome, open up.
1 second. Where is the? Can I get to the? Oh, so I have to.
How did
I
you
have
do
to
it?
find that tab. So where is it here? What happened? Sector. I picked one specific. Here it is. Okay. All right. Okay. So tell me the web address.
businesshalacha.com. That's BUSINESS. That's it. Okay. Very well, good. Okay. Press on great. So this is our website. If anyone wants to see, we have everything. Okay. Go back. You're seeing the slides. You have to go back to 1. You see now you slide number 5, number 3. Go back to 1. That's it. Okay. Be a charge of our project. Take action today and complete yours now. Give it a click. Give it a click.
Where on?
Yes, on the arrow. Okay, go back again.
I'm sorry. On the do-it-yourself, choose a form, or do?
Yes, do it yourself.
Oh, maybe you have to go down or something. Here
No. Go back. Get back to the arrow.
Which arrow are you? I don't see an arrow.
So the other
No,
side.
okay. Just wait a minute. It's a slide. Okay, now you're back. Take action again. Take action today. Complete yours now. Give a click on that.
No, you got to click on that, not on the arrow.
I'm not
Right.
seeing an arrow. I'm sorry. Where's?
Yeah. You see it saying take action today. Complete yours now.
Go
I
further.
see.
Go further.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's a slide. It's getting back in a second.
Go further.
It's further down.
Okay, right now. Take action today. Complete yours now. Give a click on that.
What?
You missed it.
Which?
Go back.
So I have to click back. 1 second.
Keep on going. Keep on going.
Keep on going where?
Okay.
One
more.
It's the slideshow that's sliding across the screen.
Here, do you see a banner?
Oh.
A white banner? Take.
You know
action.
what? I am not. Oh, I see what happened. I went to it opened up a different window. Okay, so here where it says
Wait for the right slide to show up.
it's slide 1, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here you go. There,
Take
that's-
action.
Okay, give a click on that.
I did. Okay, so I
Now,
was there.
Opening a window. So bring that window up. Stop the screen sharing and bring
Whoa.
that up.
Oh, I see what the problem is. That
It's a new
okay,
website.
so
You
it
have to
shouldn't
stop
do it.
sharing and share again.
Okay, right. Got it. So where do I get back to the
Stop
screen
sharing.
share? Where's how can I stop sharing? Here, I see it. Got it. Okay, stop sharing. And now go here and now how do I get back to our meeting? Here we go. And now I should click share, present. And now I'm going to click this one. There we go.
Okay,
Is that what
now
you-
you're seeing Halachic estate protection. This is a website that we built. So the concern we spoke about, the solution we spoke about. Scroll down, Rabbi Aaron, scroll down.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, so I have to go back to that window myself. There we go.
And that window, and yeah.
Okay. Okay, so which template for one of these?
Yes.
Or?
Okay. So let's do the halachic will. Go to the next one. Template for halachic directive. If you do not have a secular will, continue. Okay. So we're putting in the names. So I guess we have a. Okay. Continue. Is everyone following? Continue. Okay. So let's go slowly. How
Okay.
many children do you have? This project
actually-
only works if you have sons and daughters. If you don't have sons and daughters, then we have to find a different volunteer.
Let me ask you a question here. Let's say you have let's say you had a son who passed away, and he himself has sons.
Then they will get it. They will get the son's share. You put it as if he's alive.
Okay.
Right. So if for again, so do you have daughters?
Oh, 1 second. So this the total is okay. So 9,
Very good.
4,
yeah.
4 sons, 5 daughters.
5 daughters. Yes.
The
Now,
oldest
what's
son.
the name of the oldest son? There's a loch of Yakir. Now you're writing it in. You're even kind Yakir.
He's the one who passed away.
Okay.
Which is interesting because now do his kids share part of a firstborn or not?
What about the Pishnaim? The truth is, I don't know. I believe it's a very simple halacha. I just don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's go slow before you click. Oh, now he's asking you how do you want it being distributed? So if you choose all children to receive an equal share, that's good. Okay. So
let's say you wanted to choose
other. Okay, so choose other
for the girls.
What are you saying? What?
The girls should get a half.
Half means equal. They should get an equal share.
So they should all get equal, but only half of what the boys get. Let's say.
Okay. So then you have to write over here. I would write the share of the girls shall be distributed. Let's think. What line would we write? We would write the
share of the girls should be distributed from only half of the estate.
Okay. I'm not sure how this will work because let's say you have $1 million, half of the estate.
The $500,000. Then they'll split that $500,000.
Right. You have 5 daughters, although if you would have only 4 daughters and 4 sons, then it will work, right? But if you have 5 daughters, so they will split only $500,000. They're getting less than half, right? You want every daughter. You know what you would write? You would do it this way. If you have, excuse my math, but if you have 9 kids, 9 kids, then every child should really get, I would say, 11%, right? So 11%. The girls would only get 5.5%. So write that way. The girls shall receive. Each girl shall receive 5.5% of the estate.
Doesn't add up.
The rest will be divided amongst all children. Am I right?
No, you'd have to double the sons. So you have 8 sons and 5 daughters, and then divide it equally like that.
That's right. He's right. Yeah. So 8 and 5 is 13. So each girl shall receive
1/13.
1/13.
Yeah.
A 13th, right? Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Share of the entire estate.
Each boy 2/13.
Very good. Okay. Wow. Who made this calculation so fast? Okay. Next, continue. Let's move on because it's getting late.
Sorry.
Okay. Now comes the spouse. I didn't get a chance to talk about it. This is something very complex. Because if you see, put the arrow again, you'll see it pops up. Because every husband and wife wants differently. Let me explain, for us from experience, what happens. Some people would say, after 120, give everything to my wife. Everything should go to my wife, and after her 120, it should be divided equally. The problem with this is 2 things. First of all, what's going to happen if she gets married? If he's nifted by the 65 and she gets married again, the new husband gets everything. After she got married, Shikuna Bala, everything belongs to the new husband, and the new husband, she cannot do anything. There's an idea of a prenup, which we do. People call us in to do a prenup, but a prenup has to be done before they get married, second marriage. Because after that, there's a halachas of silik. You cannot make silik after that, so you have to do it before. So therefore, people would not want to give everything to their wife. What?
Why do you say that the Baal is kind of everything? She got it. She brought it into the marriage.
Right. Everything that she brings in will be either next Samalig, either next Setzem Basel, right?
Can I
So
ask-
after she is nifter, who's getting it?
if she's nifter. Okay. Okay.
Right? The first husband was nifter by 65. They got married. The wife was nifter by the 80 and by 90, 110, no matter when. And the new husband gets everything, and his sons are now new shit from over here. Right?
Okay. I didn't go that far to her being nifter.
Okay. The other problem is that giving everything to the wife, what's going to happen is after his 120, she has daughters. Who does the mother love the most? The daughters. The daughters take care of the mother, and all you need is one daughter to come over. Ma, I'm making chasana next year. I have nothing. It's crazy. I need help. And she does. It's not more than 5 minutes of crying, and that daughter will get everything. So therefore, people are hesitant giving over to the wife, and that's what we're explaining over there in the pop-up. That sometimes a woman is scared to take everything on her possession because she might be vulnerable when she comes to that age, and it will only cause machlokas. We're here to make shalom. That's why the other idea is giving. So let's go jump right back to the document. There's life estate support and there's ownership. Right? Option number one is the way the Torah is doing it. The Torah says everything goes to the wife, everything goes to the children. However, the children are obligated to take care of their mother and make sure she has the full right to reside in the estate the same way that she used to live until now. But she has no ownership in it. The problem will be, because what happens if the mother wants to sell the house? We just had a few weeks ago, someone called us in. She lived in Flatbush. Anyone knows the area of Flatbush is a little bit, shifting right now. All her friends are moving to Lakewood. She wants to sell the house. Her son's saying, Ma, you cannot sell the house. We don't want. Real estate is too big in New York. We don't let you sell the house. If you want, you can go rent in Lakewood. She is so hurt. And she called us in, make sure that you recommend always people giving everything over to the wife. So we're not saying anything. All we can say is the Torah says it goes to the children. Some people, I don't think some, I really think a lot, or maybe most of the people do want to give it to their wife, which is a good idea. I'm not saying that not. It's a good idea. So Rabbi Aaron, we'll let you choose. Which one do you want?
So let's say, could you do something like you give half to your wife and
yes, click on other. No, go to ownership, and over here they ask you how much you want to give. You want to give her 50%, right? 50.
and then basically the shares that you put for the kids would be
take out the percent because it pops up automatic. Don't put in the percent.
Oh. So I should say 50 or 1/2?
50, that's it. No, 50. Okay, continue. Okay, over here, any other instructions? We added a line. Anyone wants to add anything, the tefillin you want to put, or anything else that you feel important, you want to add, that tefillin should go to the first article that has your name. You can always add this.
Mm-hmm. Or that you could put, let's say, to oldest grandchild, or no?
Yes, very good.
Or could you say what else could you say? There's okay.
You can say the jewelry goes to the daughters. You can say the lachte, the candlebar. Whatever. Okay, let's go move on.
So let's say some of the daughters some of the kids are not married yet. Should there be a certain amount that should go to them?
Yeah, we do that a lot.
Very
good. This is the place where we add it. We add over here that if they are not married and they need the money, they should get in addition to their share, they should get. All the needs of the marriage should be paid from the estate before distribution. Okay, that's the way. 10K to each are married before distribution. Okay. Over here, okay, now comes the $1 million question. And Rabbi Aaron, you don't have to tell us how much money you have, but I do that a lot. This is the way. You don't have to tell me how much you have, but if you don't tell me, and
Let's,
you only write a
I don't know.
million,
I don't know what basically, it's mostly, what I have is mostly in retirement accounts, but whatever,
Right.
it's.
if you only
and-
were write a million, then you only secured with $1 million from Machlekes. So there's not, you would want to write the truth, but you don't have to. You can always write more than it is. Okay, now he asks
Maybe
you,
it's right to make a disclaimer that this is not legal binding what he's doing in front of all discussion.
the disclaimer will be, it pops up.
Yeah,
automatically. You'll see.
I'm just, I didn't submit this yet.
Don't worry, don't worry. Okay,
But one
next.
second. So you're saying round to the nearest million. So what you're
Yes,
saying?
because the document. Yeah, I'll explain. Because really, it's not a problem that you put more. We recommend you to put more because you never know what's going to happen in 5 years from now. If you have a house in Brooklyn right now, next year there's a new president. President Trump will want to make Brooklyn as like Manhattan. All of a sudden, my $1 million house is worth $20 million. You have to. You don't know what's going to happen, so you have to just make it a little bit more than it is. So it's always better to keep it by the numbers, not
Okay, and then you have to put a date.
put a date, because otherwise it's a choiv. A choiv, you cannot be mischav yourself with the choiv. It's a choiv me'echer or a choiv migdam. You have to write the exact date that you want to do it. Okay, now do you want witnesses? You can click on yes. Okay, now before you press continue, let's all. You count to 3. The document is ready. Continue.
Wow.
Here you go. Review your document. Okay, so you all have this. You press continue one more, and you got, okay, so over here, for we ask for money. Let me tell you, click on I will send a check in the mail, so you'll be able to print it out without. Now click on print form. Is it going?
It's wrong printer. Oh boy, why is
It probably opened a new window that's not being shared.
Okay, no problem. But it's it's
yeah, I have a problem here because it has this has my old printer here, which is I replaced the printer, and it's
no
not.
problem. You can do it over. This was just a presentation for everyone to see. The over here it took 8 minutes because we wanted to talk on a step and at every step, but this
But
all
it was
takes
very
2
quick.
minutes, and you have everything you want to read. Let's go back, so maybe we can try to reading through. Just click on
So
back.
Where? Let's see. I don't have a
Bottom. Print form, receive document.
maybe submit and review doc here.
Okay, this way. So this is basically the whole document. Okay, now the other, if you would see the front page, I don't want you to go back, because if you go back, everything will get lost. This website is here to very secure, to secure all your information. So everything gets lost within 10 seconds. As you refresh the page, everything will get lost. You'll have to redo it again. If you go back to the front page where they gave you the option to choose a document, it will get erased automatically. So don't go back yet, unless you want to go. At the bottom of the paper, we added a line. Please be advised, this is a halachic document, and may not be valid under federal or state law. However, I believe that it has some legal validation, because a legal will does not need much. Okay, I want to let's jump into 5 scenarios of halacha that we had. It's a shame that we could talk much more. I would love to go over this document a lot more. Any frequent asked questions, anyone that wants to know, you can click on FAQ. You can see everything. Before I go away with this document, let me just explain a little bit more. We had done a few events already. We did an event in Great Neck, New York. We did 2 events in Lakewood already, and we had hundreds of people standing online to make this document. We had 2 rabbanim and 2 secretaries. Pow! In 2 hours, we knocked out, I think, over 100 people doing this tzavos. Some of them left over a donation and some didn't. So that's not the case. It was just the sponsor that made this. For his sake, we're going around and trying to make sure people see it and hear about it. For the sake of the sponsor that sponsored this project, cost us a few dollars. As we speak, there is an event in Chicago of a few Rabbanim that are taking care of this. I don't know anyone over here that has a Chabad house or something. Let me just tell you something that's extremely interesting to people. We didn't think about it, but the Agudah Yisrael of America, they started it. You just post that you're doing an Halachic will event, and hundreds of people are calling because this is something that has a lot of interest to people, and it's like laying on their mind something that they never did, and they don't know how to do it, and they don't know who to talk to. If they see there's a free Halachic will event, they would come in the millions to run to you. So anyone wants to do it, you can reach out to me and I'll tell you how to do it. Or you don't even have to reach out to me. You can just go on our website. That's Wills. So our main website is businesshalacha.com, but this is a separate website. It's called wills.businesshalacha.com. And we're busy with this all the time. People keep on doing tzavos. I don't really see how many people do it because for security, there's no
Tracking.
real tracking, so I don't know who is on and who's not. Sometimes I do, you know.
Lerner, you opened up a big can of worms by saying Chabad houses, because now you're going to open up a whole new thing. How do you make in the tzavah that the person is giving a big donation to the Chabad?
Oh, very good. Now comes the shaila. There's a locha of Avirach Santa. Is there a problem of Avirach Santa giving away all of the state of Chabad house? What do you say, Rabbi Willam?
Memiz Ibelos and Epis for the kinder.
Epis for the kinder, ja.
I'm not saying
Some Zeit versucht, das Tzedukah ist nicht gefährlich. Ich some Zeit versucht, I meine, das Tzedukah ist nicht gefährlich.
You have to leave something for the kids.
Yeah, but at the end, they say you have to leave something. So over here, if anyone wants to do an Halachic will event in the Chabad house and ask to leave over something for Chabad, the place where Rabbi Aaron put about his tefillin, and that line I would tell you to put about the 10% distribution for Chabad. Although if it's more than 10%, I would say you need it customized because it will not be binding enough that you secure. If it's a lot of money, then this document is not recommended if you want to give it to someone else other than children. I'll explain why this document works this way, because there's a whole halacha about disinheriting. This is one of the things we're busy with. What happens? Someone has a child, his brothers are one of his children. He got angry at people with high temper. Someone called me up. You made a website. Everyone that has a high temper on his son, the next day he's writing a will and he's disinheriting his children. The Gemara says disinheritance is usa for a son, not a daughter. You can disinherit, not a problem. But for a son, because usa. I don't remember exactly how it starts. You don't take away of any children. So this website is not designed that you should be able to take away of your children. So giving for someone else, if you want to add a little bit for tzedukah here, there, it might work. Too much for tzedukah, this website will not be binding enough. It's a good idea, it will still give you the instruction, but it will not be binding enough to work. So if you want to give everything to Chabad, you have to get it customized. Rabbi Willem, I only have 4 minutes, right?
You can go
Let me start with a few scenarios that we had. Last week, someone called me very important. He wants to talk to Rav. What happened? I have a Yerusha mess, and I have to talk to Rav. He sat with Rav 2 hours. He came out. The Rav told me such a rachmanis. What happened? His mother passed away. No, it's not his mother. His grandmother passed away. His grandfather married a different wife, and she came in with some children, and the wife insisted that the father, I believe she was probably a very good wife, and she took care of him. So being that she took care of him, she insisted that he write over all of the estate to her, and to her children, and he did so. And now he passed away, and his own Einiglich got nothing. So what can we do? We tried seeing how to help him. The only way we can help him is, I believe you probably learned the Chaznachlis. The Gemara says, So we tried saying that it's only apotropis, or really he doesn't. The wife.
Karkoisiv, that gesagt about pay is anders.
Okay, yeah, that was one thing. The other thing, they don't say.
Was wohl gewesen, wenn der andere Saat kommt zu dir helfen?
Oh, okay. So, so let me tell you. Really, we did not help him. We were just thinking about it. We did not help anyone. Our business is very, very. We try to stay firm. When people call in, we tell them you have to talk to a tongue. We're not a tongue. We only listen to two parties. In this case, we did listen to him because he called me in that he has a mess up and he wants to talk to Rav. We did not know what he wants. However, the Rav did feel that we are allowed to help him because halachically, really, he's an einikol. It belongs to him. But at one point, after the meeting, we told him you have to go look for a time because we cannot help you. Yeah, you're right, 100%. Okay, let me go to the next one because it's late. Someone called me. This wasn't last week. This was before Yom Tov. He called me. He was very upset. What happened? I'm going to make the story very short. Everyone knows about COVID, and I don't know how, these are the FAQs. I don't know how COVID looked in the place where you live, but we all live in Brooklyn. In Brooklyn, Corona, there was a complete lockdown. Now, someone has a little bit of respiratory problem. They had to go to the hospital. We all know what the hospital is. The hospital was a plane by Sakvoris. If you go to the hospital, you don't come back. Never. Yeah. So the story was like that. Someone, he was in his 60s. He was feeling fine. He had fever. And, all of a sudden, he's having a little bit difficulty with breathing. But b'shem I'm not going to the hospital. B'shem it's a butcher store. I'm not going over there. After, an hour or two, he can't breathe. The vibe zooked him, we're going to the hospital. He got into such a panic. This is crazy. I'm going to the hospital. I'm not coming back. He heard so many stories already. He was sitting there. They called her at Naftali. He has 5 minutes until Naftali's coming. Let's not think about the feeling, what this guy has in his head. He called, he did Shiva and he said Vidi. He did everything. He called one of the Rabbanim in our Bezdin, which was also in bed with COVID right at that time. He called him up. What do? I have to make a tzava. How do I make a tzava? So that Rav that he called was also, under the weather of COVID. He told him, take a pen and a paper and just write down your tzava and I get him to. That's what he did. He took a pen. He had 2 minutes to write. He wrote whatever.
We lost him.
Hello?
COVID.
Hopefully he'll come back in.
Yeah. Mitten the Meise.
Do you hear me now?
We hear you.
Yes.
I don't know why I can't. I'm hearing him from the phone. I don't hear him.
we hear you.
That was the climax of the story.
I hope he'll come back in. Let me see. If
I thought it was like 8:30 and he's out.
We kicked him out. Yeah.
No.
An hour.
Let's see if he'll join back in.
So Mustama, the Shaila is if a rushed will under those circumstances is considered a
And no
right?
Indian.
Is it a shchimera? The Indian of a shchimera is that state?
He's not a shrimmer.
Really is.
Huh?
A shitman really is like it's a little before a goisis.
Hello?
We hear you.
Let me see if you still hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
You still hear me?
Yes.
Yossi, you still hear me?
Yeah, we got you, Rabbi.
No, I don't hear you. See?
Do you hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Rabbi Sada, let me call him and see if he's coming back in.
He's back.
He's back.
Let me call him. Oh, he's coming back in. He's coming back in.
Rabbi, it's going to be difficult to post this in a public place. This share.
It is what it is. I thought I saw him coming back in.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
You're middle of
There
your
was a
story.
problem
You,
with-
you're at the climax of the story, Rabbi.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Okay. Something happened to my. Yeah, I have a filter, and I only got an hour to open up Google Meet, so I had to open it again. The story was one of the Rabbanim told him to take a pen and paper. He took a paper and a pen and he wrote it down. 2 minutes later, the Hatzalah was there. He's in the ambulance. He's going to the hospital. He's sitting in the hospital. He had some days that he was better, some days not. His son called him from Israel to talk to him. He told him, please take a recorder, and I want to say my tzavah again. He's sitting in the hospital for a few days. Nothing he can really do. He's sitting and looking at the walls. He said over the tzavah again on the recording a few times, and then he wrote it over. Every time he wrote it, there was a different mistake. And one thing, most of the times he did it, he did not do it correctly. There was no halachic binding to it, and nothing that made the tzavah really the way it should work. Nebuch, the way COVID was at that point, after 2 weeks, the seed was nifter. Now the son is calling me, what did you do? I'm having so many problems now with the Yerush, such a machlokas in the family, a fight.
What did he do?
Because
Thing. He
What?
said he wrote.
he wrote a note, he wrote 2 notes, one note.
Did. The Gemara sagt as tzavah shiv
That's it. Yeah, very good. So until one of our Rabbanim tell, listen, maybe it's Matan Shchivmara. So it's very interesting because I don't remember having any Matan Shchivmara in a long time. Did you ever hear of Matan Shchivmara Shala? This is a typical Shala of Matan Shchivmara. The Torah did not get to us. They were trying to schedule with us. They didn't get to us at the end. They went to a different bezin, so I don't know what the bezin paskin, but it would probably be Matan Shchivmara Shala. Okay, next shala. Someone called us. It was a Chabad shliach actually that got a phone call from a nursing home that someone was just nifter, and they have 24 hours to clear the room. And he left over svurim, shoes, and pants, and whatever, some other stuff over there. What do you do? So the nursing home cannot track anyone in the family. So they called the Chabad rabbi that's living in the neighborhood, come take care of this guy. He made a kvira and he made everything. What does the rabbi have to do with the shoes and the pants and everything else? There was some valuable svurim over there. What do you have to do with it? He has only 24 hours, and he does not. He would love to put everything in trash. He just doesn't know if he's allowed to put everything in trash.
Well, the shoes he can't wear.
No,
Shoes
but
you don't wear. But who are you to say that you shouldn't wear it?
Bezdin has the obligation to hold on to it. Loyal Vad, no, that's
Shada is who's Bezdin?
yeah. Well, he's the only one in town, so or maybe somebody else.
Right. So it's an interesting thing what we said. The Rav that took care of this is, has a lot of these shadas, so he capped right away. Who is the closest halachic here? The closest halachic here was like a second cousin that's not Shomer Shabbos. So we all know the halacha that a mimer does not. There's no mitzvah to take care of the Yerisha for a mimer. Even though it's his, but we can take away Yerisha of a mimer. What?
Heint nicht kein frumme Jid, nicht kein Mummer.
Oh, okay. Emes, speziell mit dem Derech mit gelernt Bach. Oh, however, I don't say we would pass in that way when would be a lot of money. Although we did have one such a case, it's not something that we can talk with the recording on. But we did have a case of a lot of money with the mimer. But I'm talking now of a typical shaila. Everyone wants to throw these shoes and pants in the garbage. Are we allowed to throw it in garbage, or it's ganaiva? So being that the heirs are a mimer, I would say, just throw it out and don't worry about it. Give me 10 seconds. Let me think of another shaila that we had. We had a lot. I just didn't prepare so much. Give me 10 seconds. I have to think. Okay, some of the oh boy. Okay, it's an interesting, and I'm not sure if I can, if the oil will cap this because I went a little bit too fast. If you make a legal will, you go to a lawyer and you make you write all your directions. Afterwards, when you finish your legal will, you come back to our website and you can do it for free or for $50 donation that we ask. That's called a secular will validation. The secular will validation will ask you, we only got a chance to go through the halachic will. The secular will, that took 8 minutes. The secular will validation will take probably only 2 minutes. The reason is because the will that document does not ask you for real instructions, because the instructions are already in the secular will. That document is only here to ask you who made your secular will and where is it deposited. So who's holding on to it, and then you're adding all these amendments to make sure that it's halachically binding. So the secular will tell the will validation document on our website will tell you that all my estates should be distributed with the directions of my secular will. In order to secure that the directions are done the way I want, I'm obligating myself to give my daughters $2 million, each of my daughters $2 million of my estate. Yeah, that's more or less the idea of how the secular will validation works. There was a family in Chicago that called us a few months ago. Their father wanted to do a secular will. He never got to it. But one thing he did remember is to do a secular will validation. You just saw the website, secular will validation, clap around. He made the whole validation because he's going to a lawyer tomorrow. He never got to a lawyer. Now he was nifter, and there's only a secular will validation without a secular will.
What does it say there?
The secular will, the validation says that in order to give validation to my directions, I'm obligating myself to pay to each of my daughters $2 million. The daughters are saying, the father obligated himself $2 million if you follow the instructions. Even if there's no instructions, the obligation is still on. It's a very difficult shaila, and we don't know exactly what the halacha is. Therefore, since then we started asking everyone that calls us about a validation to double check, are you sure you did it already by a lawyer, or just pretending that you're going to do it tomorrow? Do not do a validation before you did a secular will. I don't think you'd ever find a bezin that will say that a secular will, that the daughters should get instead of the boys, but it's a shayla, it's a problem, and you should be careful about that. Another story we had in Lakewood. Someone called us. The father was nifted. The mother got married, and the mother got married to a new husband. She moved away from the house, and she says, "I don't care anymore. I want to start my life again. Let the kids take care of everything. They want to take the house, and they want to sell the house now. Everyone wants to make some money out of it, pocket money. The problem is that there's a daughter that's Down syndrome over there. She is 15 years old. What do we do? Is there any problem? There's a look of mezoinus. Everyone in the ksuba, you're being mechayiv yourself. You're going to give your wife, your almona, and your daughter mezoinus. As long as add the tabagrin or the talak and the governor. It says you mechayiv yourself until she becomes a teenager. She becomes 12-year old, or until she will get married. So the shaila is, if a Down syndrome that will never has the ability to get married, even though she's already 15, maybe there is a chiv mezoinus for her, and the house is meshibit. There's the chus meshibut, and the house is meshibit for mezoinus. The answer is most probably no. The Rabbanim said that she's not meshibit. The mezoinus is not meshibit for her, even though she's really handy on the. She needs the money, she needs the funds, but it's not meshibit for her. The father was only meshabit to a daughter until she gets 12 or she gets married, if she's not 12 yet.
As part of the ksuba?
Yes, it's part of the schayvs of the ksuba, yeah. Okay, the same shaila was about the wife. If someone, Rabbi Aaron did the tzavor over there, if someone had have chosen option number one, to give everything to the children, and the wife should only get the right of the estate, of the right to reside in the estate and the way she used to live until now, and get all her needs shall be paid, right? That's what says over there. So the shaila is, this guy had a house in New York. He had a bungalow in upstate. For anyone that lives in New York will know exactly what that is. You have to have a bungalow in the Catskills, otherwise you're not a mensch. And she also had a house in Florida where they went for the winter. Is that all part of the residence that you're being mechiv to give to your wife? We don't know. I don't know the answer. Yeah, I don't say I don't know, because there are a few Rabbonim, and one Rav said definitely yes, and one Rav said definitely no. So it's like I don't know what really, if it will be in Torah. I guess it's
Miami.
Yeah, or to go to Miami. Yeah, I'm not sure. No, they were very busy with it. It's not simple. What else can be interesting? Yes, someone wanted to disinherit his children. So anyone called it to disinherit, that's one of the shadows that gets me like exhausted, because I have to be very careful when I talk to him, and I have to tell him, you're never allowed to be miyayish of your children. And even the Gemara says, even though if he's not doing the way, living the way you would love him to live, you always there's always hope, and you're not allowed to take away. And but this is an opportunity for you, that you should leave him some money and let him feel that he's part of the family, and this will give you the hope that he will come back. However, there are people that insist, no, I do not want to give it to him. I do not want to give it to him. As the Gemara says, that not even you shouldn't do it. The Rav that does it is not. It's not a good thing for the Rav to be there. You should not even be part of it. Don't be part of the item or part of anyone over there. So what do we do in such a case? Pashtus not, right? The halach is, but there's a chief of the Moshe, and if you look into the Gemara says the reason why you're not allowed to be a virach santa is because you never know what's going to be with that children. So if chas v'sholem that child or so was married to a goy, then there's no hope on the children. So if there's no hope on the children, then there's no issa of being ma'av nachla. The whole thing of being ma'av nachla, issa of being ma'av nachla, is only if the children are mezera Yisrael, and in that case, they would say, do not take it away of them, because you never know what's going to happen. There was a whole court case in Chicago about someone that wrote such a will, that if any of his children will marry someone that's not Jewish, they should not get any part of the estate. They went to court, and the court said that it's against public opinion, and they don't honor such a will, and the will is, they're worthless. The court has the right just to tear up wills without asking, without giving an explanation. It's a long conversation. And the Aguda and all the organizations were trying to make a whole zach about it. They were fighting it. What do you mean? It's religious freedom. If there's a halacha that you're not allowed to intermarry, then you're not. How are you allowed to say that's against public opinion? Is anyone still on? I don't see you anymore.
Yes.
What about Matona Mechayim?
One second. Let me just finish the story. And they were busy fighting the courts, and until one of the lawyers that were working on this case learned Daf Yomi, and you say, oh boy, the Gemara says that you are not allowed. The Gemara says that you're not allowed to take away of anyone. So why are we busy fighting for this guy that he should be allowed to take away because of intermarriage? If the Gemara says that you're not allowed to take away, even if he's a Bru Bisha. Then the Moshe said that Bru Bisha doesn't mean someone that intermarries, but we would understand why the court would put it that way. One more thing before we finish: what will happen in the case someone did not do halachic will? Everything belongs to the sons, right? The daughters, according to the legal system, it belongs to everyone equal. I think it's a difference. In New Jersey, 50% goes to the wife, and the other 50% gets divided equally. I think in New York it works. The wife gets a share as if she's a child, or no. In New York, I think the wife gets everything, and after her demise, everything goes to the children equally. I'm not sure exactly, but in order to get it over from the father to the children in the legal system, that's called a probate. You have to go to probate court. Now, in probate, all children have to sign. So the son, the boy that's fighting with the sister and doesn't want his sister to get anything is all of a sudden stuck because his sister does not want to sign the paper. He calls his sister to Bezdin. The Bezdin should obligate. The Bezdin should make sure, should tell the sister that she must sign the paper. What will Bezdin say? I don't see you, but I think you're on. The halacha is the Bezdin will tell the daughter that the sister that she does have a little bit of a claim, and if the brother wants you to sign, you're allowed to ask for compensation. Not so much. I would say let's keep it to a house to a state of $1 million with 10 kids, and the daughter wants like $100,000 or $200,000. She is allowed to say that she wants a substantial amount. She can ask for a $50,000 compensation to sign the document. Otherwise, she's not signing it. She has enough of a tiny that she can say, I'm not signing it. I'm not allowed to take it. It belongs to you, but you cannot ask me to sign a paper for you. She's allowed to ask for $50,000. I think that's the case that the Bezdin says. And okay, there's more and more, and I did not prepare more, but if you would let me scratch my head for 5 minutes, I would probably come up with another 5 or 10 interesting shots we had in the last year or two.
What about if there's conditions? If someone puts conditions on receiving it, I don't know, like you have to be married or many details. I'm sure you come across it more often, but it's like a cloud.
So
there's that cloud also, but the more
right. So conditions is very hard because if you got you mentioned about matana mechayim. If you want to give it away, you have to give it away completely. You cannot give away something with conditions, especially if after his 120, if the conditions were partially followed, halfway followed, or not followed at all, where's the money going? It's going to garbage. So that's a problem. However, in this document that we are doing, we're working with an obligation with the choiv. A choiv will give you more allowance to put in conditions like if she's married, she should get the kid should get. If she does not get married, she should get it. It's not binding enough because if she can sell everything before she gets married, and then there's nobody to talk to. But if it's not sold, she gets married and it's not sold yet, the sons will have then the right to take it.
Let me ask you a question. A person that left everything to his wife, and the children didn't contest it, and the wife adults giyarshent.
Mm-hmm.
When she passes away, is there any difference how the funds are distributed? L'gabi Yerusha?
Yeah, the Bechor doesn't get it. There's no Pishnayim.
There's no Pishnayim, and all the sons get and the daughters still don't get. Does she have a right to do anything?
Same way. Yeah.
She has no right to do anything different.
Really, if it belongs to her, she can write a tzavor right then. So it happens to be in our website. She can write the tzavor together with her husband. That if he was not to be
died, her husband died. That's what I'm saying. And she ended up with everything. Are the dinim of Yerusha from a mother the same as Yerusha from a father? That's what I'm asking. So
in Hilchas Yerusha, if you didn't do a will, I think the only difference is the Bechor, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
You mentioned here in this question 19 that this has only to do with your assets and not your wife's assets.
Right.
How are the So I thought from a halacha perspective, isn't it all your assets except?
There you go. So this is something I wanted to talk about, but it's an hour and a half, and we will not get to it. It's a very, very complex question, especially in cases when the wife was the one that bought in Panasa, especially when you bought a house and you put it jointly on both names. Sometimes it's also only in order to get to get you know, the mortgage to get approved, but sometimes it's not. You know, I bought a house. I wanted to be on my wife's name. I wanted her to be secure too, not only me. So it's a very complex question, and the answer, it depends on a lot. So I don't know exactly. Today, the way they buy houses, it's called I don't know the joint. I forgot the term. I just heard about yesterday. It's after one is nifter, the other one takes over the whole part of the partnership. So he gets to he becomes a full owner. I forgot the word.
Okay, Rabbi Isai, Rabbi Lerner, would you like to
Yes.
mention again the website? So mention the website. It's Business Institute. What is it?
So it's Business Halacha Institute. BusinessHalacha.com. BusinessHalacha.com. However, this is on a separate website. It's called wills.businesshalacha.com.
Wills.businesshalacha.com. I'm sorry I'm cutting it short. I just, in 4 minutes, I got to give a share in Hilchos Tarubis, and I'm going to have to use the site.
Okay.
Okay. For Grace and Yashir Koyach.
Thank you.
Rabbi, do you mind if I give out your phone number?
No problem.
His phone number is 718-233-3845. His email is nl@businesshalacha.com. If anybody wants to ask him any more questions.
Yeah, rather on email, it's just easier for all of us. On email is much better. Anyone wants to ask me something on email.
Okay, Grace and Rabbi, could you do me a favor? Could you send? What's the address to send you something? Where?
Ocean Avenue, 1937, Ocean Avenue. Yeah, you have everything on my email.
Is that your house?
That was for the check. That was for the check at the bottom of the.
Is that your house or the Bezdin?
That's the best. That's the best.
Is it? Okay, let me write this down. What is
you
it?
See it on your email, 1937 Ocean Avenue.
Tell me the whole thing. Ocean Avenue. What else?
1937 Ocean Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11230.
11230. 11 Brooklyn. Okay, Shkoyach.
What's
Thank
the
you
number
very, very
again?
much. I hope everybody enjoyed it.
1718.
Shkoyach, it was very informative. Thank you very, very much.
Rabbi. Thank you.
Hey,
1718.
and Rabbi Lerner.
Yes.
Wissen Sie Sidden bei mir sagen, geht die Antwort. Geht es Kislev.
Yeah.
What's the number again? 1718-233.
3845.
Koya, thank you so much.
All right.
One
Hold
extension
to
201.
Thank you. It was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.